Good morning. Welcome back to Coffee and Colorful Conversation. It is a gorgeous day here in Florida. I just returned from a family trip to Philadelphia. I'm not going to lie, it was really nice to see the leaves changing on the trees and get a different perspective and see hills again. That was really strange. We're used to everything being flat now here in Florida. And we came back kind of like, oh, here we go, back to the humidity. And it has been spectacular. It's actually in the 50s right now, which never happens. So it's very nice. I'm enjoying my beach walks in cooler weather and not coming home completely soaked after a morning walk on the beach. Good morning. Good morning, Michelle, Donna, Elaine. So nice to see you all here. So today's chat, if you got the email or if you saw the coffee chat teaser, is the question that I got from my dear friend Christina from Australia. And she says it in her adorable accent, which I cannot mimic to save my life. But her question is, do you want to be a color chartist or a color artist? And it's a cute little pun on the fact that a lot of us rely on color charts to formulate. And there are so many reasons why that's a bad idea. And I wanted to get into a few of them today. So, yes, the color chart is a guide. It is to show us really more of the tonality and the bases that are in that shade. So, if you don't speak in the language of base, background color, shade, hue, all of those things, there's a lot more in hair color that you're missing out on. And there's a lot higher of a level of results that you could be getting in your color services, having understood that. So it's a bad habit. In my opinion, I always phrase it as my opinion because some people think it's awesome. I feel like it's a lazy colorist method to walk over to a client. Now, I don't have a swatch book because I'm not in the salon, but this is a swatch ring. So a color chartist would say to the client, so what are we doing today? Oh, that goes right through me. I hate that even more than handing them a color chart. So what are we doing today? Imagine if you walked into your doctor's office and he or she said, so what are we doing today? What would you like me to write a prescription for you for? Like, it's not our job to ask them what they are doing. You have to rephrase it. And that's a whole other class in consultation that I'm happy to go into. My focus in my Hair Color Secrets Insider library is very heavy on consultation. I feel like it's a lost art. It's something that's skipped over. It's something that's rushed. Of course, it's quicker to hand them this ring and say, pick a color. This isn't a nail salon. It's not where they barely speak the language and they can just say, you pick color, round or square. They're the only words that they need to know in a nail salon where they don't speak English. That's not how hair color should be. And if they were to pick a color, let's say your client picks this. Then what happens is the color chartist says, oh, 5.5, light red brown. Okay, let me see if I have that. Like a paint store. Oh, let me see if I have that in stock. You can have 62 tubes of this, but if your client looks like this and asks for this, do you really think that just simply putting this on top of her head is going to give her that result? And if she looks like me, even more frightening, do you think if I put this on in permanent color on my hair, that my whole head is going to be even and this beautiful shade? I have natural hair up here. I have very light hair here. I have some in-between hair in between. So you're setting yourself and your guest up for huge disappointment when you do that. Instead, I want you to take the time to build your own portfolio of inspiration photographs. Magazines used to be our go-to, but again, in the magazine, the client is looking at the beautiful face. Say they pick out the red that Julia Roberts had in Pretty Woman, and she looks great with it because her skin tone lends itself to that shade of reddish brown. Someone like me, if I put that on my face, my skin, I'm going to need 4,000 pounds of makeup, which I don't have any on today. I was really lazy today. I put lipstick on and jumped on here because later today I would have had to take off my makeup for something else and I didn't feel like doing it. So you get to see me in the raw today. But your client is going to have a certain level of expectation when you hand them that swatch that they are then going to look the same that Julia Roberts looked in that color. So if you are not taking into consideration eye color, skin color, does that client go on live in front of hundreds of people with no makeup on like I do? They may not. They may be full face makeup all the time, and that it's no big deal. But they also have to, look at their significant other when they wake up in the morning. And if the hair color is completely fighting the skin color, it can be exhausting trying to always look just even normal when your hair color fights with your skin. I was in the airport going to Philadelphia, and a woman was walking towards me, and she had a really cool color of her hair. It was like her natural color about to here. And then she had some vivid, faded, cool purple. It was like a slatey purple. And her hair was like put up in a clip. She had no makeup on and she just looked rough, is the best way I can say it. Like it just looked like she needed her roots done. She didn't have any makeup on. Like she looked undone. And I looked at her, and as a colorist, I thought, you know what? At a party, when she's got her makeup done and she probably wears a really cool outfit because she has that edgy hair color, that color is probably so on point. But because she did the, messy clip ponytail, there was a lot going on, and her clothes were like airport clothes, the sweats that you throw on to be comfortable. My son the whole time kept saying, Mom, you look crazy. Mom, you look crazy. I'm like, I had on a sweatsuit with low ankle boots because my boots were heavy and I didn't want to pay for a bag just to bring my boots. And I knew I would need them in Philadelphia. He was so worried about how crazy I looked. I'm like, I'm on a plane. Have you seen anyone look great on a plane in the last 5 years? You've traveled a lot. Nobody looks great on a plane because it's all about being comfortable and not having your bag be too heavy to end up paying another $100. So I was happy to look crazy with my little booties on. But there is always a difference between someone going for something like Gwen Stefani, for example, with her platinum blonde. I guarantee you, when Blake rolls over and sees her in the morning, it's not a pretty picture without her brows really drawn on and her bold red lips and all the things that go with that look. But we have to know who our client is and whether they're able to pull that off. And are they okay with needing all of that maintenance to pull it off? Someone like Kelly Ripa, she can do anything because she has hair and makeup every single day that's going to make damn sure that her skin and makeup and eyebrows and all the things match whatever color she chooses to be. So if you're relying on color charts, there's so many things that can go wrong. So if we use that example, if I really insist it, which in another hour, I have a hot seat with one of my members, her client is insisting on a really bold red. What's the Disney film where the girl is like a badass girl and she has like the bright, bright red hair? It's fairly recent. I can't think of her name. Somebody will come up with it, but she has the big curly and it's this kind of color red. So if that client looks like me, which this member's client looks like me, she has blonde hair with regrowth and she's asking for this. Brave. Thank you, Michelle. That was quick. You must have small children. So if I was going to do this for that guest, I always have all of these clip-in hair pieces at the ready. If a client says, I'm thinking about going gray, I'm like, really, are you? And I clip this in their hair and they're like, oh, never mind. If a client is going from this to this, I am absolutely putting this on her hair and I'm making her wear this the entire time we talk about the consultation. I want her to be squirming in her seat and feeling uncomfortable because if I showed up today with this and none of my blonde showing, the comments would have blown up. Oh my gosh, Elaine, you changed your hair. Wow. Oh my gosh, you look so different. Blah, 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 blah. I should have had it all on there and freaked you guys out. But that's a big change. So all of my lipstick, all of my makeup, all of my clothing, all of a sudden, if I was someone who wore a certain color in clothing that looks great on a blonde, it it might not be as flattering with that bold red. I actually did that. If you follow my coffee chat long enough, you know that I came home with a wig, this color, and very short. It was that stacked in the back, Vida Sassoon Firefly bob, and it was this color. And I was in my best friend's wedding 2 weeks later, and I wore the wig home, and my husband was like, "Oh my goodness, please tell me that that is a wig and that that is not permanent." And I was like, "Why? You don't like it? I love it. Look how blue my eyes are." It did make my eyes look super blue, but that was about it. Everybody told me how great it looked until I pulled it off and told them it was a wig. And then they said, "Oh my goodness, thank God." So that is the difference, extreme difference. And we all know that that guest that my member has that she's doing this to, she can 1,000% nail this and make her hair the exact color that that woman wanted. And there's still going to be tears. There's still going to be the husband, boyfriend, neighbor, mom, dad, sister, brother. Someone is going to say something to her within the first 5 minutes of seeing her to bring her to tears. And who gets the phone call? You. And what does she say? Put in the comments what she says when she calls. I'll give it a minute because there's a little bit of a delay. But I've been here, I've done it, I've seen it all, and I never move forward without doing all of these silly things from that point forward, knowing what happens and knowing what it costs me in my time and energy, not the client. Carolyn said, "Fix it." Mary, "I hate it." Stacy, "I want it removed." Great word, Stacy, removed, because they think, just like we thought when we became colorists, that hair color is this magical thing that we can just erase and take it off, take it off, take it off, get it off. They think that we can just get this off of this instantly. Anyone who's colored hair for more than a minute knows that this is quite a journey back from that to that. So we are responsible. We are educated. We know this. Our guest does not. So if you are being a color chartist and you're handing the client a book saying, pick a color, the way us kids used to shop in the Sears catalog for Christmas, we were just talking about this yesterday. Amazon is sending out a catalog now because they're taking over the world and they have all of our business. They're sending out a catalog of things you may not know that they have, so that your children get a hold of that catalog and start asking, rabbit earring, folding down the edges of the magazine saying, "I want this, 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 and this." Super smart for Amazon. But Amazon, it's a link, it's a SKU. It is exactly what you're ordering. How many times have you bought a lipstick? I know I have a million times. I'm like, "I'm so bored with my lipstick. I want to try something new." You look at the little sample, which would be like your swatch book, and you put the lipstick on when you get home and you're like, "This looks nothing like the sample, number one. And even if it did look exactly like the sample, what was I thinking putting it on my face with my skin and my hair?" So everything, I'm not going to get super into religion because I get hate mail every once in a while when I talk about things like that. But God, source, universe, whatever it is that you believe you came from, they don't make mistakes. We were born with hair, eye, and skin color that all went together. We had a perfect matching set. And then we come along and say, "Oh, I saw that movie and I want the color," say Flashdance. When Flashdance, I'm really showing my age now. Flashdance, you're like, "Oh my gosh, I want dark curly hair. She looks so cool." So people that were, say, level 7 naturally, all of a sudden wanted to be, well, I'll bring it up to today's times. The Kardashians. My niece and every one of her friends look like Kardashians. Every single one of them looks exactly alike. If they are sitting at a concert and you walk up behind them, they all have extensions, they all have black hair, they all have the really full lips, and they all wear the same lip color with the visible lip liner. They all look like avatars of each other because they all watch the Kardashians. They see the success they're having. They see the money they have, the lifestyle they have, and they're like, "I want that." The black hair doesn't look good on everyone. So it can be really harsh. It can show every line. If your client is over 50 and she's asking for really dark, you're going to see every little blemish and flaw in her face with that stark color. It is not forgiving. So these are the things that I want you to keep in mind, and the facts that this is never going to happen in one step, whether it be virgin hair, level 2 wants this, or my level 9 or 10 wants this. It's never just one bottle or tube out of your dispensary put on the hair, ever. I can't even think of an example, because you have to ask yourself a series of questions. I teach a 5-step roadmap where it's like a kick butt. I have to say butt now, I can't curse. A kick butt GPS system of guiding you on the way to get them what they want. And within that 5 steps, a lot of times by step 3, the guest already changed her mind. Wouldn't it be awesome to have her change her mind in step 3 of the consultation versus 20 minutes into a 30-minute processing color that's already on her head and has already gotten her halfway there? I sell those. You go on my Shopify store. I don't have the link right now, but I can come back and put the link on here. And if Bryn is on here, which I don't think she is, you know what? Let me put my website, because I think it might be listed. If you see the hair testing swatches on the website, if you click on that, it'll take you to the store. expertcolorsolutions.com is my website, and everything is on there. But I have a kit, a like color discovery kit that has all the different shades. I think there's 12 different colors, but great to have literally in a drawer in your color room to just be like, really? You want to go gray? You really think that you want to go gray? Here you go. Slap that gray swatch on them. And they're like, maybe touch it up again and I'll do it next year. I've had that happen a lot. So Hope, I am happy to see you here. You told me that you're retired. So I'm happy that you still have a lot of passion for the industry and you're still here listening to me yap about hair color. So yes, the person who asked about the bangs also said they could never find the right color lipstick. So I would venture to guess, it says Style Sensations. I don't know who it is because I'm on StreamYard, but I would venture to guess that you have been guilty of being a color chartist in the past, because you believed, and it's not your fault, that the manufacturer told you that that color is that color, and we believed it because why wouldn't we? But it's time to start questioning. So as an artist, I'm not a very good artist because I am a colorist, and I've been trained in hair color, not in chalk or pastels or acrylics or any other form of paint. But I will tell you that it is a humbling experience to take a painting class. So if you're ever unsure about the difference between paint and hair color, take a basic painting class. I took a class. This is an artist in my area. I took a class and I was like really cocky going in. I'm like, I'm going to be really good at this because I know color. I've been coloring hair for 36 years. I understand the difference in saturation and how you change a color from how you cancel tones, stuff like that. So I'm like, I'm going to be awesome at this. So I sit down and they're doing just a little explanation of what we're going to be doing. And we pull out the paints, and the teacher keeps coming over to me and saying, add more black, add more black. And I was like, oh no, I don't want to add more black, because I'm thinking what a 1B would do to my hair color formulation, right? But the difference is hair color is a chemical. It doesn't work like paint. And I think so many of us every single day for 15 years of our career, we treat hair color like paint. We think like a marker or paint. So this is purple paint. If this paint were to be put on this wall behind me, the walls are going to become purple. No matter what, it's going to be purple. If a 9V or 10V in hair color is put on hair, this is 10VV in Redken Shades EQ on level 10 hair. Is that purple? No. Is the color purple in the bottle, is it pure violet? Yes, it is. It's 100% violet. But this hair had just enough of yellow left in it that the purple was utilized to get rid of the yellow. It did not have the ability to turn it lavender purple. So that is the difference, my friends. I hope that I have a lot of like wow emojis going off. Put something in the comments if that has hit you hard where you're like, "Oh crap, I've been treating hair color like my nail polish." Like when I picked this color in the nails, it still wasn't exactly the color that I wanted. I wanted it to be a little bit more blue gray. So even in nails, it's not exactly what the swatch looks like. So in nails, and how many times have you picked paint for your salon? I've been through it so many times with remodels where you go to the counter and you pull that little paper swatch. You're like, this is the perfect color for my walls. And you put it on your wall and it looks nothing like that. Because even in paint, it's not an exact science. So we are taking a chemical, a frozen. They're saying frozen. Can you guys see me? I don't see any other comments. Maybe I am frozen. Oh no, I'm good. So maybe you're talking about frozen blonde, maybe. Um, Stacy, great comment. She said, since she's been an insider, she doesn't color from a book. I can't tell you how many times someone will, you freak out in a Facebook forum and they're like, I can't get a hold of the Shades EQ swatch book. Does anyone have one I can borrow? I will pay anything for that book. And I always comment, the best class you'll ever give yourself is you swatching out your line, whether it's Redken Shades EQ, Wella, Color Touch, Joico, Schwarzkopf, whatever it is, you actually taking the time and using test swatches and trying every single shade combination on the hair is way more impactful, way better than any swatch book that you can get from a manufacturer, because those swatches in that Redken Shades EQ book and other books are done on white thread. And I know that because I had my level finder created from a company who makes these hair swatches. And this is thread. This is not human hair. If this was human hair, this swatch would have to cost probably $200 because human hair is very expensive. But I was able to find a source for very high quality human hair that is not outrageously expensive because I have a garage full of it. So I have to buy it in huge quantities to keep the cost down so that people can use it for the classes that I recommend. So definitely, no, Pam, they're not on there yet. They're not on there yet. She's saying it isn't bang swatches. Jack has to put them up there. They should be on. Today's Wednesday. I should have them on there by the end of the week. So yes, doing the swatches will always be better than, like, I could sit here if I had the Redken swatch book, I could sit here and put this. This is 10p. I could put this against their 10p, and I guarantee it's not going to look like this. But this is what it actually looks like when you put it on the hair. So huge, huge, huge aha moments. Do not lean on the swatch. Make sure that you have a deep, meaningful consultation. Take the time to take the 5 steps. If you don't know what the 5 steps are, there are still 5 spots left in Hair Color Formulation Simplified. We are limiting it to, we're capping it off at a certain number because there's a very hearty Q&A afterwards. So you sit and we talk about all the things, and then we go off of where you're watching the actual class part, and we go on to a Zoom room where I can see you, I can meet you, and I can answer all of your questions. So Pam, Donna, Laura, all the members, do not buy this class. I keep stressing it because several of you have, and I've had to refund it because you already have this as an insider. So do not buy it if you are an insider, unless you want to spend the money and spend time with us again, but I'm not going to keep refunding. I keep telling you guys, don't buy it. I love that you love things that I do and you're supporting me, but do not buy things you already have. So yes, there are 5 spots left. We're winding into getting ready to actually do the workshop. It starts November 9th. It's not too late as of right now. And, you know, everyone's writing to me saying, I really want to come, but I work late on one of the nights. What if I miss it? There are 30 days of a replay. So even if you can't make any of the sessions, I would still highly recommend purchasing it so that you have it. You can watch it whenever you want for 30 days. If you have questions that weren't addressed in the live Q&A because you weren't there, you're going to have the ability to reach out in the Facebook group and still get your questions answered. Could you tell us what swatches you use to make the cut? Yes, they are definitely on my site. So I shared my website. It's called Swatch It, and you can get them in all different bases. You can get level 9, level 10, and 50% gray, 50% level 5. So you can test permanent color on the gray to see what it's going to do to the gray and the natural. And you can also glaze or do testing on the line the way that the manufacturer does on the lighter levels. Donna said, great class, took that several times. So Donna is an educator. So I love that Donna is in our group because she's a passionate educator that wants to make sure that someone who's been behind the chair for 36 years and who is still the student, I'm still going to education, I'm still learning new things every single day, that I'm going to bring that to her and then she's going to pay it forward and bring it to her students. So I love that. I have at least 3 members of the Hair Color Secrets Insider that are educators in beauty schools. And that makes me so happy, so happy, because I know that this next generation of students are not going to come out balancing the color chart on their lap and hoping and praying that what they see in the chart is what they're going to get on the client's hair, because they know that Donna and Risha and all these other educators are going to say, no, that's not how it works. You know, this is how it is in the textbook, but it really works like this. And that is my mission. That is why I wake up and live and breathe. My passion is to change things in the industry and stop letting people be told all this false information that they then 10, 12, 15, 20 years later come to a class with me and go, oh crap, no wonder I'm getting brassy results when I use, you know, a level 8 on a level 5, and I'm trying to get this beautiful level 8. No wonder I'm, you know, getting blonde on McDonald when I'm trying to get pale blonde, because you really can't lift, you know, all the levels that they're telling you that you can. And we're going to talk about that in the workshop. So if you are not 100% confident in your formulation, I promise you will get more than a few nuggets from this workshop. It is super reasonable as of right now. It is still $97. That is not going to last, I promise you. It started at $67. So if you're here listening to this and you're interested, you're like, oh, damn, I should have gotten it at $67. And yes, you should have. We always reward the early action takers because those are the students that when I work with them, get the biggest transformation. The action takers. Stacy, who's on here saying that she doesn't use the chart anymore. Stacy is an action taker. Donna is an action taker. Pam is an action taker. Those are the people that are still with me because they're not just showing up for a class, listening almost, you know, they have a TV show on and maybe have me in one ear and they're trying to multitask. No, they're all in, they're listening, they're showing up for the Q&A, they're asking the questions, they're getting the answers, and they're getting immediate results within the workshop. The workshop on purpose starts on a Thursday. It's an hour teaching, an hour of Q&A. We reconvene on the following Tuesday so that you have all of Friday and Saturday to try out what we already talked about on Thursday. Then Tuesday, we do more homework, not homework, but I give you a task and say, try this. And then you have until Thursday to come back and say, oh my gosh, that worked. Or that didn't work. What did I do wrong? So it's purposely a Thursday, Tuesday, Thursday. And that is really on purpose. And it's not because I'm mean and I want to do it when you guys are working. It's because this formula works, because you can put it right to use. Otherwise, if you sit and just binged all 3 sessions, it's overwhelmed. It's like drinking out of a fire hose. You're going to be so overwhelmed that you're not going to do anything. So I've done this for 7 years, guys, and I know what works. And I know that the people who attended this exact workshop in April, I am watching them go through a transformation like a caterpillar to a butterfly, and it is beautiful to see. They are so much more confident. Their questions are not the same as when they came in. They are changed as colorists forever, and it all started with this one workshop. So say yes to yourself, grab one of those last 5 sessions, because after that, if anybody else wants to get in, they're going to be on a wait list and the price is going to be a lot higher than it is right now. So I hope that you'll join me. I hope that this was an impactful lesson in not being a color chartist. And I hope that you will take the time to have a basic painting class, because it is helpful and it is eye-opening. So thank you so much. And I will see you all next week. Have a great rest of your week.